Okay, let's dive in. Welcome, everyone, to a deep dive. We're digging into some recent articles and notes you shared,
That's right.
trying to get you completely up to speed on some pretty big moves and, well, what's coming up next in WWE.
Yeah, the plan today is basically cutting through the chatter.
Mm-hmm.
We're pulling out the key stuff, the big announcements, the results these sources are highlighting.
Think of it like your cheat sheet, right?
Exactly. So you
Yeah.
know what's really driving things and what moments you probably don't want to miss.
And honestly, the sources led us to some major points.
Yeah.
We're talking a huge championship match, involving maybe the biggest name out there.
Yeah.
And then this really high stakes match in like a legendary tournament. It's getting
Yeah.
down to the wire. So first up,
Hmm.
the material really puts a spotlight on this match that just feels, I don't know, supercharged. It's the undisputed WWE champion John Cena,
Right.
and he's set to defend against Ron the Truth Killings.
And what's wild here, looking at the sources, is how sudden this whole thing feels. They talk about Killings having a shocking return at Money in the Bank, specifically going after Cena. Attacked him right then and there.
And it wasn't just like a one-time shock. The notes you sent mentioned he followed it up pretty quickly.
Yeah, 2 more attacks just this past SmackDown, June 13th.
Wow. Okay, so 3 attacks. That fast. That kind of immediate, physical targeting from Killings. It makes this challenge feel really, really urgent.
And that's exactly it. That intensity, that sudden buildup, it explains why the sources are already calling it a highly anticipated match.
Right.
It's not just the title, it's how Killings has just burst onto the scene as this immediate physical threat to the champ.
Makes sense. And you won't have to wait long to see it unfold, apparently. The sources are clear. It's happening live on Friday Night SmackDown.
Yep, 8 Eastern, 7 Central on USA Network.
Okay, so moving beyond the main title picture for a sec, the sources also flagged another big deal they were tracking.
Oh.
The semifinals for the King of the Ring tournament. They're set. King of the Ring, love that tournament. Always adds something special. And the semi, wow, 2 huge fan favorites, but totally different styles. Randy Orton versus Sami Zayn.
Yeah, and the sources are super clear about the stakes. They literally say it's a trip to the final.
Okay.
The winner moves on, just 1 match away from, the crown and all that history.
And the sources actually break down how they got here, right? Like Sami Zayn.
Mm-hmm.
The material says he got his spot by winning a fatal 4-way. He beat Braun Breaker, Penta, and the Intercontinental Champion Dominic Mysterio.
Yeah, all in 1 match. Talk about a tough field.
No kidding.
And Orton's wrote, just as tough, according to the notes. He won his fatal 4-way.
Against 2.
Against LA Knight, Carmelo Hayes, and Aleister Black. Also big names.
Wow. So both of them had to survive those, totally chaotic 4-way matches just to get this far.
Exactly.
It really shows how hard this tournament is, doesn't it?
It does. And it's probably why the sources themselves kind of pause and ask that question, Who will advance to the final match of the storied tournament? They're really framing it as a big moment.
Definitely feels pivotal.
And, get this, adding to the importance this semifinal, it's also happening live on Friday Night SmackDown at 8 ET7 CT on USA Network.
Wait, seriously? The Cena Killings match and the Orton-Zayn semifinal on the same show?
That's what these notes say. Huge night shaping up, potentially impacting the title and the tournament.
Okay, let's maybe zoom out just a bit. Pull in some of the other recent results and details the sources mentioned because, these big matches aren't happening in a vacuum.
Right. Context is key.
Yeah.
And the material gives us some. It notes the big title change on Raw, June 9th.
Oh, yeah.
Gunther beat Jey Uso, became a 2-time world heavyweight champion. That's a major shift on the Raw side of things.
Definitely. And going back to that SmackDown June 13th, the same one where Killings attacked Cena again?
Uh-huh.
The sources also mentioned Cody Rhodes advanced in the King of the Ring that night, too. Oh, interesting.
Yeah, it doesn't say who he beat or, where he is in the bracket compared to Orton and Zayn, but it tells you, he's still in the mix.
Good point. Still a factor. The sources also touched on NXT real quick. Mentioned Obafemi beat Jasper Troy on Juneteenth.
Okay.
Held on to his NXT championship. So just a little snapshot from across the brands based on what the sources focused on.
And there was one bit of history kind of popped up in both articles that feels super relevant with Cena as champ right now.
What's that?
The note that John Cena stole the undisputed title from Cody Rhodes.
Ah, right, at WrestleMania Sunday.
Yeah. The fact the sources are specifically mentioning that now, it suggests that's still kind of hanging over Cena's whole title reign,
Yeah.
important background.
Definitely feels like it. And one last thing worth pointing out, Money in the Bank 2025. Still clearly a big focus in these sources.
Yeah, how so?
Both had it right up top in their What's Trending sections, talking about top moments, highlights, full results,
Yeah.
photos.
It just shows the fallout from that recent premium live event is, still very much shaping things right now.
So, okay, let's wrap this part up, bringing all together.
Hmm.
Why should you, listening right now, care about this quick look through the sources?
Well, because these articles and notes, they're really honing in on the most critical stuff happening. You've got major title matches, top stars,
Mm-hmm.
key moves in a big tournament, significant title changes shaking up the shows. It's the core narrative.
Exactly. It's like getting the curated highlights straight from the material we looked at. Gives you a really efficient way to grasp the big picture, what's happening now and what's next in WWE in just a few minutes. All right, so we've hit the big points. Ron Killing's sudden, very aggressive challenge to the undisputed champ, John Cena.
Yep.
We explored that massive King of the Ring semifinal, Orton versus Zayn. High stakes there.
Huge implications.
And we put it all in context with some other recent results the sources flagged, including that interesting historical note about Cena winning the title from Cody Rhodes at WrestleMania.
Right. The sources really emphasize Killings as this immediate physical problem for Cena, but they also remind us about how Cena got the belt in the first place.
Which kind of leads us to a final thought, just connecting those dots from the sources. Given how Killings attack, like total ambushes,
Yeah.
right?
Sudden.
And given that history the sources mention about Cena stealing the title from Cody, what else might John Cena, the undisputed champion, be worried about right now? Beyond just Ron Killings, what other threats, maybe from the past, maybe someone else lurking, what does the picture these sources paint suggest might be on the horizon for Cena? Something to think about.